This is Talkin Hoopz, the show that discusses real NBA stories, gives you all the latest rumors, and gets you into heated debates.
It's dunks and layups. How many of his points have been jump shots? 0.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
0.
It's not happening. Not in this NBA. Maybe in the fantasy NBA that they're playing in, but not in this NBA.
We're going to challenge each other in practice.
We talking about practice, not a game.
Once the game starts, I mean, it's going to be easy.
You better get off whatever you're smoking.
Strap in, get your popcorn, put your headphones on.
This is Talkin Hoopz.
It's really good to checking out Talkin Hoopz.
Talkin Hoopz.
Talkin Hoopz, the official talk show of NBRPA Miami.
Talkin Hoopz starts right now.
Talkin Hoopz. TalkinHoops.com. NBRPA Miami chapter. NBRPAMiami.com. As usual, Kyle, Mark Strickland with you for the show. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
And a lot to talk about. We got Luol Deng. We got Derrick Rose. We got the Melo and Bargnani combination. Will that work out? We'll talk about the Knicks. We'll talk about preseason. A lot of good stuff. But guys, how's everybody doing? How's it going?
All's good over here, you know, everybody's chilling. I'm excited that preseason basketball's underway, right? I mean, everybody is, I guess. This is Talkin Hoops after all. If you're not excited about basketball being underway, then I guess we're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, everything's good over here, babe.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm good, man. You know, family's good, son is good, wife-to-be is good, you know. I'm just chilling, hanging out. Mad that the government shut down because of the color of our president, but we're not on a political show.
Right.
Hey, no politics on the court.
So I'm happy that the preseason started. Watched a little of the Heat last night. They still look like they're unbeatable, but they were playing the Hawks. I mean, I think me, Kyle, and AJ can get a 10-day with the Hawks right now. But
Yeah.
it's all good.
And we got a comment on your Nuggets jersey behind you tonight, Mark. I love it.
Nuggets, old school. I'm a 30.
So guys, preseason's here.
Yes.
The Bulls have already played a couple times. Derrick Rose, he looks
nice.
pretty solid right now.
Try to tell you.
He is. He's looking good. I'm not going to lie. He's looking good. Strake, you called it. He's looking good.
I'm telling you, man. I got inside scoop.
I think
He ready.
13 points both games in about
20
20
minutes.
to 23 minutes. That's pretty solid.
Come on. Man, come on.
It's only
man, he ready.
preseason.
He ready.
I'm surprised at letting him play this much in preseason, though. You'd think
Got to. He took a year off. They ain't got no choice.
525 games, they said. That's a lot.
Yeah, man. He need all the work he can get.
That's a lot.
Look, 13 points is nice. But let's put it in perspective. I don't care how long it's been. It's preseason, all right? I don't care. He looks good, yeah, but 13, you know, look, they don't need 13 points Derrick Rose. They need Derrick Rose to be MVP Derrick Rose if they're going to go somewhere. If he doesn't come back to MVP form, then this Bulls team is sunk. That's it. That's the long end of it right there.
That's the
long,
truth. That is the truth, though, because the Bulls, I mean, especially without having a guy like Nate Robinson off the bench, they're going to be looking for some energy. And look, Taj Gibson also looks really good in preseason. We'll say it again, preseason. But
you contradicting yourself. Y'all saying y'all happy preseason here, and then y'all killing the preseason.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I'm a basketball fan, but at the same time,
Look,
that's what I'm saying.
It's true.
Everybody's like, yeah, preseason's here. I'm excited. And we talk about Derrick. Man, it's just the preseason, though.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, I guess I'm going to contradict myself again because I am surprised that they are letting a lot of these guys play. Like Nash, for instance. I know he didn't have a point, but he's played like over 20 minutes in a preseason game. I mean, I'm just surprised that guys like this are just playing. But, you know, I guess it's kind of hard not to contradict ourselves in this situation because, yeah, we're excited. It's been fun to watch some games. But at the same time, is it just a preseason fluke, so to speak?
That's what I mean. It's like, look, we're happy it's here. But let's put it like, they don't need Derrick Rose to look good. They need him to be an MVP. Right. They don't need if Steve Nash can't score a point, that's a problem. You can't have Steve Nash not scoring points, especially if Kobe Bryant is not going to be there when the season starts.
Right.
So the preseason is fun to watch, but at the same time, you know, you gotta take it for what it's worth. Look, Derrick Rose looks good, but it's preseason, it's limited minutes, you know, there's no schemes going on really. He's just getting his feet wet. I can't judge a player. You know, Steve Nash has 0 points, Derrick Rose has 13. I can't judge them off of that. And they got to play these minutes, AJ. You're saying you're surprised, but they got to play them.
Yeah, no, they do.
Derrick Rose missed an entire year.
Yeah.
They definitely do. Let's get back to the Chicago Bulls. Look, Derrick Rose looks great. I think it's more the hype. I think watching a guy that hasn't played in so long, just see him out on the court, we're ready for the season. We're anxious to get this thing going. Let's just get the season started. Let's see what the standings are. Let's get to the playoffs. Let's see if your beloved Heat, Mark, are going to win the finals again. Let's see what happens. I'm ready.
Three-peat, Juwan Howard, new coach, Keith Ashton's moves up. I love it. Man. I love it.
And also, let's while we were on the Chicago Bulls, Luol Deng, that's a big topic right now around the league.
Yeah.
His contract situation. Is it time to trade this guy, Mark? We talked about this a couple weeks back, but it's starting to heat up. It's starting to get serious.
I wouldn't trade him. They need him. He's a great defensive player. He's long. He's athletic. He can hit mid-range shots. He can hit threes. He's big. Like I just said, on the defensive end, he's huge because he's the only person that they have that can kind of slow LeBron down a little bit.
Right.
And they're going to need somebody to slow him down because, you know what I'm saying, Dwayne Wade is getting older. His body is beat up. Chris Bosh, you got put Jakeem Noah on him, pop him a couple of times, but you need somebody to kind of like make it harder for LeBron. And when you're in a series, Luol Deng is that person who can make it harder for him and also get you buckets on the offensive end.
Right.
All right, here's my question then.
You need that.
Here's my question then. If Derrick Rose comes back and he's near MVP form, not MVP, but near to it, can the Bulls beat the Heat and go to the championship?
Ooh.
No, that's...
Because if your answer is no, answer is no, then they trade him. There's no point. You don't think
that's a great piece.
Look, if you don't think the Bulls at full strength can beat the Heat at full strength, then what are you holding on to him for? This is his last year of his contract. He's owed $14 million. Why are you holding on to Luol Deng if you can't beat the Heat? You may as well deal his expiring contract.
Right.
You should be able to find a team, free up that money for this season, get some young assets, maybe a pick in the draft, and go forward next year. Because if you're not going to beat the Heat with Derrick Rose near MVP, then who cares if Luol Deng can guard LeBron or not? That's what it's all about, right? I mean, you got to win a championship.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you're going to get something for Luol Deng.
Luol Deng.
You're going to get something for Luol Deng, though. You're definitely going to get something for him.
Right. So if you're definitely going to get something, if you feel you're definitely going to get some value, maybe you get a young player, right? I mean, look what the Phoenix Suns were able to do. They were able to get Eric Bledsoe in a deal. If you're able to get a young player who's on the come up, or like the Pelicans got Jrue Holiday,
right?
You're able to get a guy like that, or a draft pick. He's going to be a free agent anyway. If you're not willing to pay him the money he's looking for, then what's the point of holding on to him for the whole season?
Right.
Boozer has 2 years left on his deal. So he's got this year and he's got next year, which means next year his expiring contract is on the books.
Right.
And he can deal him. I think it's time, I'm going to say it, the Bulls rebuild around Derrick Rose. Get rid of Deng. Get rid of Boozer. Kirk Heinrich, he's in the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
Get rid of Heinrich. That's it.
Oh.
Build around Butler, Derrick Rose, and Noah. Those are your three pieces going forward. This year is a loss. Derrick Rose is just coming back from injury.
Right.
Let him get his whole season back under him and retool for next year because you're not beating the Heat. So what's the point of even trying?
No, I agree. I just think, the Bulls, they're not ready to take a step back. I think they don't know what they want to do, and I think this season is going to answer a lot.
That's a major step back, but it is what it is. Look at their roster and their contract situations.
I wouldn't get rid of him. I'd pay him, and I'd try to find me another piece to put in the post next to Jakeem Noah, and then you good. Then you might get beat the Heat because you're having an advantage somewhere.
But they don't have the money for it. With Boozer, Deng, and Noah on the books, plus Taj Gibson, he's making $7 mil, $8 mil, $8 mil, $8 mil for the next 5 years. Those are his four. So between Gibson, Noah, Deng, Boozer, and Rose, you got no dough.
Nothing.
But I'll go 1 year with this group, and then next year I'll deal Boozer.
Yeah, but then you're gonna deal Boozer, that's fine. But then you gotta re-sign Deng. So the money that comes off the book for Boozer and Deng, you gotta take back on Deng's contract, and then you really only have that Boozer deal that is coming off the books, and that's only the partner.
They only need one piece. I think they only need one piece.
But they're losing a piece to gain a piece. They're losing Boozer to gain a piece, so they lose that part of their team.
Right.
I mean, but I think it's easier to find a Boozer than it's easier to find a Dame.
You think Dang is more valuable than Boozer?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is good. This is getting good.
Boozer,
Keep going, guys.
Boozer had a great look.
And Boozer's my boy. Boozer's my boy. I go to his kids' birthday parties every year, but man, come on.
Name drop.
You got Dang on the defensive end. That's a defensive player, and he also, when what's his name was out, he was running the team, and he hasn't been healthy. I think that's why they don't want to give him the deal, because he hasn't been healthy.
Exactly.
Dang hasn't been healthy.
Exactly. So look,
now this year I'll be like, look, we're gonna see what you do, and then we're gonna pay you. But you gotta show and prove this year. We need you to be healthy, and we need to see where you can what piece, what value of a piece do we have in you to continue forward with this group of guys? Because you know they're not getting rid of Noah. You know they're not getting rid of Derrick Rose. They're gonna need that three. They're gonna need at least three good guys. Same way the Heat got the big three. So I would take Boozer over what's your boy look like from Toronto? What's my man? I like him for the Heat shooter. What's your boy? You don't like him, Kyle. You don't like him.
Who?
What
team he play on?
Big three on the Heat.
Bosh?
Chris Bosh. Yeah, I'll take Boozer before Bosh.
Okay, so best spot. I would too. Boozer dropped 16-9, almost 16-10 last season.
Good numbers.
He's only 31.
It wasn't with a Derrick Rose.
But look. Is he going to be worth a max deal again when his contract is up after next season? No.
But Dame will. I guarantee you somebody could Dame. I guarantee you somebody pay Dame more money than they pay Boozer.
No, Boozer's making ridiculous. Boozer's making $15 million this season and $16 million next season. There's no way Dang on his luckiest day, tied in with his birthday, tied in with his bar mitzvah, is he ever going to come close to $15 million a season? There is no way.
All right.
No way.
If anyone's just tuning in on Talkin Hoopz, talkinhoops.com, we're hanging out with Mark Strickland, Kyle, in a heated debate here about Luol Deng and the Chicago Bulls. And
look,
I'll keep it.
Deng is good, but then they haven't. Look, all right. They had a healthy team 2 years ago, before Derrick Rose got hurt when he was in the playoff. They couldn't beat the Heat when the Heat just came together. You know, when the Heat just formed their big three, and the Bulls were in their prime, and everybody was healthy, everybody was balling. They couldn't beat the Heat. There's no way they're going to beat the Heat now that everybody is 2 and 3 years older. Derrick Rose is coming off of major knee injury. If you couldn't beat him then, you're not going to beat him now.
Right. But there's not too many teams in the league that can beat the Heat, especially in the
true.
East.
But if this
you might well
you
might well say the Knicks. You might well say Indiana. They got a good shot this year, though. I gotta give them that. They got a good chance, but no, I don't think nobody can beat the Heat in 7 games.
I don't think so either.
You can't beat them in 7 games.
Well, hey, with LeBron working on his free throws, it's going to be tough. That's going to be tough.
There's nothing you can do with that group, man. It's too many weapons. You got a dude that's playing out of his mind. You got one of the top slithery, smooth operating guards in D-Wade. You got Chris Bosh spreading the defense, knocking down threes, knocking down jumpers, and occasionally he'll get his drive and his dunks. And then it's just too much, man. You can't do nothing. No matter who the Bulls get, even if they trade Dame and bring a younger person in, they still gonna be further back than they are now with Dame.
Here's my thing with that is that if they trade Dang and then Boozer next season and get younger pieces for each of them, Derrick Rose is still young enough that they can wait this Heat situation out. Let all these guys leave the Heat, and then in 3, 4, or 5 years, they can be that team because they got D. Rose, Noah, and now all these young pieces that they accumulated. Right. You're not going to beat them now. Why not plan for 2 and 3 years down the road?
Yeah, that's true.
You can't compete now. So,
but I still don't. I just don't see them. I
don't think they'll do it either.
I would keep Dame. I would keep Dame because of what I said. You got a guy, man, that can match up with LeBron. You got to keep that guy.
But who cares if they can't beat him? Who cares? If they can't beat him, who cares?
If it's up to me, I'm keeping Dang. But if they can't come to an agreement, then you got to trade them. So it is what it is. It's going to play out one way or another. But the Bulls are either going to be really good after they trade them, or they're going to be really, really bad. That's really. There's not going to be an in between. I don't think.
I think Luol Deng is a huge piece for them. It's a huge piece and it's a rare piece. Like the Knicks don't even have a piece like that. They didn't even have nobody that could guard LeBron. Like one person.
No. They have somebody that can. What about Meta?
Man, get out of here. He's too small. All you gotta do, man, is get him up. You gonna see how crazy Meta works with the Knicks, man, and how bad.
I'm excited about Meta.
That pickup is, man. It's gonna be bad, but he at home. He gonna be all over the place. You already got guys on the team hanging out all night. You got two guys that want to be reality stars. Like, come on, man. He's not gonna be able to guard LeBron.
He can get his own reality show in New York. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Meta getting his own reality TV show in New York. I'm sure it'll be a huge distraction.
That's what he want to be anyway. He don't want to be no ball player, man. Come on. He ain't played no good ball in 2 years.
Oh, stop it. Meta World Peace. This dude
comes in the game, man, and hit about 3 threes in the whole entire season. Man.
It's his presence. When he steps on the court, his presence is felt. That's what he's there for. He's there to make an impact.
Similar as Kenyon Martin. Like, when Kenyon Martin comes on the floor, people know. People are aware. It makes you just. It definitely puts something through you. Go on, Mark.
But he don't put nothing in LeBron. Kenyon Martin don't put nothing in LeBron.
Because nobody can.
He's not gonna put nothing. He's not gonna fear them dudes because they can't guard him. They too small.
But he's upgraded.
Kenyon Martin is smaller than me in height. Wise. He's 8.
I think some of the pieces that the Knicks added. And I don't know how we went from we just went from Luol Deng to the Knicks, which is perfect because we're going to get to them anyway. But the pieces that the Knicks added, Meta, and then you bring back Kenyon Martin. You have J.R. Smith. You have a couple of head cases here. I'm not going to say that they're not head cases. They're head cases.
Not a couple. Not a couple. They got a team full of head cases.
All right, without a team, that's cool too. All right. But it just so happens that two of these head cases are extremely good defenders, okay? Two of these head cases, just from stepping on the floor, are extremely good defenders, just from their presence.
But they only giving you fouls. Kenyon Martin only gives you fouls. He's not a scorer. He don't score no punts. It's not a dunk.
Kenyon Martin impressed a lot of people.
He has no free throw jump shot. He has no short corner jump shot.
Kenyon Martin's
a bully. He's a small bully.
Martin impressed.
But how can you bully somebody that you're smaller than?
All right, but I think Martin impressed a lot of people. He had a couple of double-digit numbers games that no one expected. He kind of took over when other guys were injured. He stepped up. If it wasn't for him, I think the Knicks would have lost a lot of other games that they didn't last season.
That's true. I mean, he's big for him. I would have re-signed him, too. I like what he brings to the team as far as toughness.
I just wish he wouldn't travel.
But he's not a defensive stopper.
There's
something.
Defensive
stopper.
If you look at Kenyon Martin highlights, by the way,
Kenyon Martin is a defensive stopper.
All right, hold on.
Wait. I got it. If you look at Kenyon Martin highlights, okay, there's one thing that bothers me about this guy. He always travels. He always gets away with travel. Everyone in the league now gets away with traveling. These open lanes just right to the basket, and there's 4 or 5 steps, and no one calls it.
Okay.
Because he's confused when he get a rock because he don't know, should I shoot this wide open jumper because nobody's guarding me because they know I don't have a jump shot, or do I drive in here as a 6'7", 6'8" small dude and try to jump over everybody, which I don't have the hops like I used to have, or do I just bully people to keep a check coming? I'm gonna be a bully.
I don't appreciate this. Listen to this. Kenyon Martin is better than Chris Anderson. Birdman, your Birdman from this team. He's better. And look at the
I put him in the same box.
No.
That's what I wanted.
Mark, no. No way.
I put him in the same box. That's why Birdman comes off the bench and they went out and got Greg Oden.
Okay.
I ain't gonna argue with you with that, but you're trying to make it seem like Kenyon Martin is a defensive stopper. All
right, hold on.
He's not a defensive stopper.
Okay, hold on. Okay, because Kenyon Martin's getting really, really
He ain't getting real. I like his toughness. I like what he brings to the Knicks. He's a New York Knicks type of player. They need bruiser. He's like that Oakley. He gonna hit you when you come to the paint. He gonna wrestle with you. He gonna get boys, but he's not a defensive stopper, man. If I'm an offensive player, I'm going at him just like anybody else because I know he's not gonna be able to stop me.
He's also
not gonna be able to stop a LeBron. That's why they don't put him on LeBron. You know who they put on LeBron? Carmelo Anthony, because he's gonna take the challenge. He has the quickness to guard LeBron.
Yo, AJ.
Okay.
AJ. Who won when the Knicks and the Heat played each other? Who won the series during the regular season?
I'm proud to say the Knicks. I'm proud to say the Knicks.
So
Who won the championship?
okay, but we talking about Knicks Heat right now. Playing. We talking about the Knicks and the Heat, right?
Preseason
Talking about the Knicks and the Heat, right? That's what we talking about.
Okay.
So
who did we face in the finals though? Who did we play in the finals? Indiana.
Right.
How many points did Kenyon Martin stop George? I don't think so.
No, he was on George. He was on George.
Exactly, because he's not a defensive stopper.
No, because he doesn't bring with a player like George. He can't. That's not. You got to put an athletic guy on George. You can't put Kenyon Martin on George. You got to put Shump.
All he does is foul people, man.
You put Birdman and Kenyon in the same group, right?
What did you guys drink tonight? What the hell did you guys drink tonight?
Hold on. He's
taller and he brings more energy than Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin is a bruiser. Birdman comes in, he changes the whole complexion of the game. He does. Just by his energy, blocking shots, just running the court, being the first one down the court.
Kenyon Martin do that too.
Man, dude, Kenyon Martin too small, man. I go Birdman because he's 7 feet tall. Kenyon Martin too small, man. He too small.
Okay, wait. But
he was just in China. He was just in China.
I'm gonna say
But then nobody wanted him until he came from China. It was either the Heat or the championship Heat or the Knicks.
They chose the Knicks.
They chose Chris Anderson over Kenyon Martin.
Okay, but at least Kenyon Martin is hitting shots while he's guarded. I mean, Chris Anderson's getting open layups. Granted, he's got LeBron James on his team, but he's making open layups and dunks here. Kenyon Martin is dunking on everybody left and right. He's screaming. He's getting everybody into it. I'm telling you, man, if I had to pick one or the other, I'm picking Kenyon Martin over Chris Anderson.
Really, you hyped off of Kenyon Martin off of antics? Like over dunking and yelling? Come on, man. Dunking and yelling?
Yo, that has an effect.
There's more tenacity to him. There's more tenacity to Kenyon Martin.
In the league that's playing in the NBA because they're not making it to the finals. They're not even going to beat the Bulls.
Nah, you bugging. The Knicks are better than the Bulls. The Knicks are a better team.
I hope so.
The Bulls beat them during the regular season last year, but this is a new Knicks team.
Right.
With Andrea Bargnani.
Y'all on the contradiction tonight.
No contradiction.
You just told me Knicks Heat during the regular season. This is what you was doing.
Knicks beat the Heat during the regular season, but the Bulls beat the Knicks during the regular season. The Bulls beat the Knicks during the regular season last year. The Knicks couldn't figure out Chicago. But the Knicks were able to beat Miami during the season.
Kenyon Martin is a wash. What he does is he's a bruiser. He gets easy baskets, and that's it.
That's what Birdman does. This is shit you just defined Birdman.
Birdman blocks shots.
Get easy baskets.
Birdman blocks shots.
Contested shots.
He's 7 foot tall, and he's 7 foot tall.
No, you're counting his mohawk to make him.
So if you if you left right now and went to the park, and you had a 7 foot guy and you had a 6'7" guy, they both play the same. Who are you gonna pick? You gonna pick the 7 foot guy?
If we playing in the street, I want Kenyon Martin on my team. I want him in the street ball. I don't want Chris Anderson in the street ball. I don't need him flapping. I need somebody who's gonna throw it down.
As much as I do agree with Kyle on this one, but this, Kyle is the White Owl, man. Kyle is the White Owl, all right? White Owl's calling the shots right now, and if he's picking Kenyon Martin...
He like the Knicks. He like the Knicks. I'm saying.
Keeping it real.
I like Kenyon Martin. I like Kenyon Martin as a player. I said he should have came to the Heat. I thought he would have helped the Heat. But it's something. Dude, he a partier. So you say... Oh, man.
Look,
I love this.
He's a partier. That doesn't mean that he's going to be partying during the season.
If you're just tuning in,
man, you just saw your man who we just talked about.
If you're just tuning in now, Talkin Hoopz, TalkinHoops.com, Kyle and Mark Strickland going at Kenyon Martin and Chris Anderson. We're comparing the two. One's a partier, one isn't. I don't know where we got into this, but Mark had to take a drink of soda right there. So there you go.
I can't. No, I'm
going Martin, that was J.O.
I'm going Birdman. It was a reason the Heat picked Birdman over him. It's a reason for that. It was a reason. Maybe me and you don't know the reason. All I know is that the team that Birdman went to got two championships. Right. They got a championship last year. Right. The team that Kenyon Martin went to, they was watching the finals and the conference finals.
You're right.
So there's no debate. You're right. So then, when you at the park and you see Birdman and you see little bitty Kenyon Martin, you gonna pick Birdman because
if they had Kenyon Martin instead of Birdman, they still win the championship. It's not like if you substitute. You saying if Kenyon Martin was in for Birdman, they don't win the championship?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
That's
I'm
what
saying
So
one is a 7-footer. One is a 7-footer. One is a 7-footer, man, that brings mad energy. Mad energy. Then you got another guy who's 6'7", 6'8", and makes up for that lack of height with being a bully.
Okay, and that's perfect. But if you're saying that he could win a championship with either or, who cares?
He don't win a championship with anybody. Yeah,
exactly. So who cares?
But I'm saying though, because they won a championship, he has more experience. He has more experience now. He has more experience. That's just like me. That's just like me telling you, man. Yo, man, Brooklyn ain't none. Everybody in Brooklyn saw. And I ain't never been to Brooklyn. And I ain't never been to Brooklyn. That's how you would do me. Like, that's what I'm saying.
No, that's not it.
I wouldn't say that because I don't know everybody in Brooklyn.
That's not it.
I don't know everybody in Brooklyn, so I can't say that. All I know is, man, if I was a GM and I had to pick between the two, I'm going Birdman.
I got it.
That's not disrespecting Kenyon Martin. I'm a fan of Kenyon Martin.
Right,
I like to play like I used to play. But I'm not gonna pick him over Birdman. I'm not gonna do that. He's too small.
If they're interchangeable and you would still win with Kenyon Martin, and who cares if Chris Anderson now has more experience? I don't care if my ninth guy off the bench has more experience than my other ninth guy off the bench. I don't care. That doesn't mean anything.
Means a lot. Experience means a lot. I mean, one gonna be fucking up and one's not.
But Chris Anderson is a bench. He's like a role player. Who cares if your role player has more experience?
Kenyon Martin is a role player. Kenyon Martin's not a role player.
Yeah, he is.
All right then. So it's the same part.
Exactly. So who cares if one role player has more experience than another role player? It's not like a starting guy against a starting guy. It's a guy who plays 13 minutes against another guy who plays 15 minutes. Who cares about the experience for those guys?
Wow.
It's not like Chris Anderson's rolling up into the locker room like, yo, I got to tell y'all how it is because I've been in the championship.
All right.
No. All right. I guarantee you they picking somebody that won the championship. I bet you they was picking Kurt Thomas' brain before he left. I guarantee you they was because he got more experience.
We got to shift to Bargnani and Carmelo here, all right? Guys, this is getting heated. I mean, I love it. I love it. This is good, but we got 100 other things to still talk about here, all right? And I know it's the second I bring this up, I'm sure Mark's going to disagree with it, and Kyle's going to agree with it, and we're going to go back to this.
I'm taking the paddle.
But this is, Kyle's got the heat. He's feeling the heat on his head, literally.
He's feeling the heat now.
So,
man, Kenyon Martin over Birdman.
All right.
Kenyon Martin, 6'7".
Andrea Bargnani and Carmelo Anthony. I'm afraid to ask this right now. Do we see these guys working together? Woodson has come out and said they look good together in camp. Do we like this? Is this a good idea, a bad idea, inserting both of them into the starting lineup together?
Only if Bargnani is making jump shots. He making J's, it's a perfect fit. Because Carmelo can have an opportunity to do what he can do, and then when he gets in trouble, he got somebody that he's confident in, he can kick to, that's going to knock down shots. That's the key. If Bargnani is making shots, it's a perfect fit. It's a perfect fit.
Finally, we agree on something tonight.
Oh, boy.
Perfect fit.
Finally.
Oh, boy.
If Bargnani is knocking down the three.
Knocking down shot, yeah. That's the only way it's going to work.
Right.
That's the only way it's going to work. Yeah.
You're right. They need that because that brings the dimension that they never had. Because with Amari, he can't do that. He can't do what Bargnani can do and make consistent jump shots from outside. So
that takes the double team off of Carmelo, too.
Exactly.
You got double team now, so you done.
That's right.
Nobody can guard him one-on-one.
And now the lane isn't crowded. Now Melo can get to the basket. Now JR can get to the basket. Now Tim Hardaway can get to the basket. Now Felton can get to the basket. Because Amari and Chandler, they're just standing on the back. Everything's all crowded. Nobody has to double Amari anymore, so they can double Melo. This opens up the whole floor. It gives the Knicks a whole other dimension that they never had. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
What is Bargnani, a 4 or 3?
Yeah, he's a 4.
I'm glad we all agree on this right
He's a
now.
4.
I'm really liking everything that the Knicks are doing, especially with having Bargnani in the lineup with Melo. And I agree with Mark. I really do think that the spacing's going to be there if Bargnani's knocking down shots.
If you knock down shots,
you were against the Amari Stoudemire thing. If those guys couldn't, that wasn't going to work. They had to stop doing it.
Still ain't going to work.
This is a good replacement.
Still ain't going to work.
This is a good replacement. But Bargnani is a good replacement for Amari because he doesn't interfere with Tyson. He doesn't interfere with Melo. He's just going to knock down shots.
Here's where they'll be weak, though. Rebounding and defensively under the rim now. You got to take
but that was them last season. They were like that last season.
That's what Kenyon Martin was there
for. Here we go. You had to bring it back to Kmart.
I thought that's why they signed him, to rebound. He can't do nothing.
Starting 5, though. He's going to come off the bench.
All right. First of all, excuse me, the problem last year with the Knicks was rebounding. We know it's going to be the same problem this season, okay? They got killed on second, third chance opportunities. That's a fact, okay? And I think every post-game show they talked about the Knicks getting killed on the boards every night.
6'7", dude. 6'7" bully. Not going to get no rebound.
But think about how good that second unit is going to be when you have Meta and Kenyon Martin both on the court at the same time. When you have Meta at the 3 and Kenyon Martin at the 4 at the same time, no nonsense is going on at that point. No nonsense.
That's fair.
This game, I'm going to repeat Bill Russell for you. This game has always been and will always be about buckets. And that second group has nobody.
That
dude shoot the ball, man, from the parking lot. Come on, man.
He makes it. Yeah, he's smart. He's got a point. Sixth man of the year.
Last year. I bet you he don't shoot that way this year. Because he's too distracted. He in the club, chasing
here we go with the club again. Damn.
He in New York, man, driving around in a tank.
All right. On a serious note, wait. Mark, on a serious note, I'm going to ask you, okay, you keep bringing up the club. The clubs, they really play a part in all this?
How do you think the Heat always end up in first place? People come to Miami and they go to South Beach. That's a weapon. That's a weapon. That's a weapon. If you don't believe that's a weapon, man, what you need to do is hang out with some NBA dudes for a while. Every team come to Miami. I hear it the next night. All the club, man, they always in the club tonight. And I have people in the restaurants that feed people extra food so they won't play well the next day. Come on, man. So, these people are out.
This is an invite then. You're telling Kyle and I are coming to Miami and we're going to the club with you and we're going to hang out with all these guys.
No, I'm not going to the club with Mark.
There's nobody on that second group that's going to be getting buckets, man. Because J.R. Smith is cold with that second group. It's a wrap. All
right. Let's be.
They got to go to Stoudemire, talk him into coming off the bench, and let him be the go-to guy. And they'll have a post player, and they work around the post players, and then then you get J.R. Smith shooting J's. You got to have the focal point. Got to be Stoudemire. It can't be J.R. Smith. He's too out of control. He's too out of control.
The second unit will be Bino Udrih, who is a very good point guard.
Very good.
J.R. Smith at the 2. What?
The old point guard, right?
No,
that's Prigioni. No, he's the third. Okay. He's the third backer. He's your backup to the backup.
No, they just brought in Bino Udrih, J.R. Smith, Metta World Peace, Kenyon Martin, and Amari Stoudemire.
Better go to Amari Stoudemire.
That's a good 5 though for a backup. That's a backup 5.
Okay, you got Metta World Peace at the 3. So that
all those guys can start.
So that mean Metta gonna be chasing LeBron around because LeBron plays point forward.
Right.
Then you got Dwayne Wade. You got J.R. Smith that's chasing D Wade around. You know, he pick and chooses. That's okay. Then you got Kenyon Martin on Chris Bosh. You know, anybody. You know that's.
Why are you putting the backup 5 on the Heat starting 5? What kind of?
Because the Heat don't never have no backup 5. The first person goes out of the game is D Wade. Then they bring somebody in. And then next person that goes out of lineup is the point guard. And then they bring in the speedster. We bring in the speedster from Cleveland State. And then LeBron goes out and they bring Dwayne Wade back in. And then they bring back in LeBron. So it ain't never no second group. The Heat always will be based on 8 guys. It's gonna be 8 to 9 guys getting all the minutes. I played 4 years for this team. It's 8, 9 guys in the rotation. Somebody get hurt, they move somebody in that slot. That guy comes back. They move that guy back into that slot and move the other guy out.
Well,
there's no second group with the Heat. There is no second group.
The primary defender on Wade when the Knicks and the Heat play will be Shumpert. Right? And Shumpert is the real deal. I don't know if you know about his defense.
This year, man, he'll help him a lot.
That man is a padlock on D.
I don't know how he going to play with Tim Hardaway Jr. That's his minutes. Unless they're going to play Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 3.
Well, you got to think Hardaway Jr. is a rookie. You know, he's going to be battling for time at the 2 and the 3.
Junior's
Junior's
gonna come in when JR's injured. Okay, he's injured. He's not starting the season. And then he's going to be suspended. Junior's immediately going to get some minutes. Then it becomes an issue when JR comes back. How is it going to work? Who's going to play what? Okay,
but you can get traded because Tim Hardaway Jr. going to be balling in Meta World Peace. Maybe he'll do good because he's in New York and this is his last leg.
Look, Woodson's going to decide who plays what. You know, he may say Hardaway Jr. is going to have to sit for a while and earn his minutes, earn his spot, you know, but at the same time, if he starts the season well, I don't think he's going to throw him out of the rotation. I think he's going to go with a winning formula. If they're winning...
playing well.
Right.
Not if he's playing well.
Right. Yeah. Now, they got a new general manager, okay? The Knicks do have a new general manager and president who, granted... We don't know exactly how. I'm not too fond of this guy. This is the same guy that hired Isaiah Thomas. Okay, everybody knows this. If anyone watched Talkin Hoops last week, TalkinHoops.com, the last episode is on the site. You can hear the rant I went on about that GM because it was pretty intense. Not gonna lie, I was very heated that the Knicks brought this guy back to the organization. If this guy decides to make a trade and move Shumpert, that wouldn't surprise me. But he better be getting some good talent for him, which you can get. Shumpert's becoming a two-way player in the league. Okay, he's up and coming. He really is. So, or move J.R. Smith and keep Shumpert, and if Junior's playing well, you know, there's options here. The Knicks are a deep team. They got options. They definitely
gonna make a move. They definitely gonna make a move. They got to.
Yeah. Well,
they got to make a couple of moves.
It may happen this season. It may very well happen this season.
Got to make a move.
Either way, the Knicks are gonna finish with, I think, because they only got better and younger, in my opinion, than last season. They're going to be about the same this season. 54 to 60 wins. Health-wise is going to depend on that. It's the playoffs. The playoffs are what worry everybody with the Knicks. The playoffs.
Because of what? Discipline.
You're such a
Come on, Kyle, man. You know your team.
This guy is a Miami Heat guy, and he's going off on the Knicks.
They out of control. I want them to win because I want somebody the good game. I like every time I go to this arena to watch the Heat Knicks game. It's a boring game. I be falling asleep.
Oh, stop it! Those games are great.
Cause last year they blew us out every time by like 30, so I was falling asleep. Or
that's a great game to me.
Or it's the opposite way around. Then the dude that killed us didn't even play in the playoffs. He didn't even play.
All right, we're shifting away from Miami and New York. Okay. Ooh. We're going to Houston, okay? Houston! That's right. We're flying all the way from Miami and we're going to Houston. Or New York, we're going to Houston, okay? A lot of big things going on in Houston right now. Dwight Howard makes his debut. They lost that game but against the Pelicans. Tyreek Evans got injured. That's another story we'll get into in a little bit. But Dwight Howard getting some criticism from the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, saying that he doesn't have basketball IQ. Doesn't have any basketball IQ. That's why he's not good. He can't. His brain. He's dissing Dwight Howard's brain. His ability to think on the court, which is stopping him from being a great player. Do you agree with this, Mark? Do you think Dwight Howard has any basketball IQ issues?
No. He just need to get to the situation, man, where he gets baby. That's it. He just want to be baby. That's it. That's all he want to do. That's it. That's all it is. I think he got good basketball IQ, or he wouldn't be one of the top centers in the league, man.
Well,
he's getting a lot of criticism because he left. He's not one of the top centers in the league.
Well, he responded to the criticism saying that you don't just win 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards with having a bad basketball IQ. So
here's the thing about Kareem's comments. It's not so much on his defense. He said when he was working with the Lakers bigs, Bynum and Gasol, when they had to play Orlando in the finals, it was easy to game plan for Dwight because he had no go-to move. You take one thing away from him and you eliminate him from the game. And you see it today. He's got no go-to move, got no post game, got no jump shot, shaky free throw shooter. How many years has gone by and he hasn't evolved as a player? He makes it on his talent. Look, there's a difference between talent and skill. Anybody who tells you they're one and the same is wrong. Talent is what you're blessed with. Skill is when you work at your craft every day. He may be working, but he's not doing it right because he hasn't evolved as a player. His skill isn't there. The talent is there, and that has got him to this point. but the skill is just not. That's the reality of the situation. So I agree with Kareem in that regard.
Now, I have one knock on Dwight Howard, and this is something interesting because, you know, Patrick Ewing, he was a great defensive player. Okay, he worked with Dwight on his defense in Orlando, but he was also one of the best jump shooting centers of all time. And the fact that Dwight Howard, working with this guy, has no jump shot to show for all the years he put in with Patrick Ewing, is it Patrick Ewing or is it Dwight Howard? Because which is it? Because to me that doesn't make any sense. I don't get that at all.
I mean, Patrick Ewing was he had a jump shot. I mean, Dwight doesn't. He's a power guy. You know, he got to get his buckets, and hopefully, Akeem Olajuwon to help him out with that, man. I think him being down there with him, man, and being under his tutelage, man, will give him that basketball IQ on offense that he needs. But I agree with everybody on here, man. It's time for him to step up, you know, or he's going to continue to get the same criticism over and over again because he hasn't stepped up. He hasn't. See, he hasn't stepped up.
Here's the difference. He said he wants to turn the villain into the hero like LeBron did when LeBron left Cleveland and then went to Miami. Here's the difference between the two in that in every season you can see where LeBron improves. All right, LeBron James couldn't shoot when he came out of high school. Ooh. That man can shoot jump shots now. And that man will shoot it in your face and make a more open jump shot. Consistently. When he was the first year on the Heat.
Couldn't post.
And he could have had no post game. Now he's in the post. You can't touch that man. Now it's free throws. He wants to shoot. He said he wants to shoot 80% from the free throw line. That's his goal for this season.
Right.
His highest was 78. I wouldn't be surprised if he shoots 83% from the free throw line. Every year you see this man get better. Dwight Howard has just been that same guy from 3-4 years ago till now. He's the same guy.
Right.
3-4 blocks, 19 points, 8 of them are dunks.
Yep.
And it's not like he was a difference last season. It's not like he made a difference on the Lakers. They didn't do anything really last season. So for everyone to say that Dwight Howard came to the Lakers and they were going to win multiple championships because of the guys they had on that team, and Dwight Howard is basically just doing the same thing and you're not getting a result, I mean, you know, there's got to be more to it. Okay, there's just got to be more will from him or something.
Yeah. I mean, he just got to have the desire, man, to get better.
That's what I'm saying.
He got to get better offensively, and he has all the tools there to do so. Yeah, he got Akeem Olajuwon there every day. He's in a brand new situation. He's under the radar now. He's under the radar. It's not like the Lakers.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. He got to step up.
And no one's talking about this whole Dwight Howard to Houston thing not working out. But what if it doesn't work out? Everyone's talking about it being...
They're going to kill him again. He's going to be getting killed all summer, all season long. And there's going to be more great centers commenting on how he has not developed and turned into what he can become.
Right. And then what? Did we see him demanding another trade now out of Houston, leaving Houston now because it didn't work out here? I mean, if that's the case, then either Dwight needs to get back to, you know, similar to Amari Stoudemire, where Stoudemire played his best years under one coach. Okay, Mike D'Antoni. Stoudemire was great with the pick and roll with Steve Nash, and you know what? Stoudemire was up for MVP halfway through the season before Carmelo came because Mike D'Antoni's system was in place, and Raymond Felton was running the pick and roll with Amari Stoudemire. He was dominating, okay? Well, Dwight Howard, you have a guy now, James Harden is now with Dwight Howard. Look, it sounds like it's going to work. Okay, you got a lot of good pieces, a lot of good young pieces in Houston. It sounds like it's going to work out. But the way I see it is if Dwight Howard doesn't adapt to the team around him and he just is the same Dwight Howard, I think it's going to be a very similar situation that you had in L.A. The only difference is this is a fresh start. Again, like L.A. was, a fresh start. And
well, this team is more talented than the L.A. team. All right, L.A. had at the end of his career, Kobe, 37 years old, and there's Kobe's ego. You know, Kobe wants to still be the guy. There's nobody like that in Houston where they have that Kobe ego. So, and they're much younger, they're much more talented. He fits in well. I think his style of the game as is, but he has to evolve. You have to take that step. Look, this team went to the playoffs. Who's the head coach of the Rockets? Kevin McHale. Another big man who was great. Right. So he's got Kevin McHale, he's got Akeem Olajuwon, he's got no more excuses.
No, he doesn't. And if it doesn't work out, then you go to a team like Charlotte and you bring back Stan Van Gundy, and that's it. You got to work with the guy that made Dwight Howard who he is.
Listen, Dwight Howard is very good, but he should be way better right
Yeah,
now.
way
And
better.
He should be up for MVP every year.
You
Just
know,
based off his size
That's
and talent.
Shaq's knock on him. Shaq, look, he'll come out and say Dwight Howard he should be averaging like 20 rebounds a game, the type of player that he is, and he should be putting up 26 points a game. You know, it's great that he's putting up 12 rebounds a game, but he should be doing way more than that.
It's up to Dwight Howard to prove us wrong and prove Shaq wrong, and the more he doesn't, the more he just feeds everybody, and everybody just pile on.
Right.
Yep.
That's the reality. Everybody did that to LeBron. Everybody just piled on and piled on and piled on. And what happened? Now he won 2 rings, and everybody's like, yo, LeBron's the man.
Yeah. All right.
People that burned their LeBron jersey are sweeping up the ashes trying to put it together now because they're like, yo, I really messed up. You know, that's what he has to do. It's on him. You know, it's up to him.
Right. Yep. Talk to LeBron about being a villain. He was there. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some players that have been impressing in the preseason thus far and a lot more. 15 minutes left in the show. Stick around. Talkin Hoops, talkinhoops.com. AJ, Mark Strickland, Kyle, NBRPA Miami chapter, NBRPAMiami.com. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Don't foul out. Talkin Hoops will be right back. I'm Mark Sanchez with a message for women. This is the actual sound of my heartbeat. I'm sharing my heart to let you know that the symptoms of women's heart attacks can be different from men's. Please learn more. All it takes is a few minutes of your time in return for years of healthy life. That's a deal even my agent couldn't negotiate. Cover your heart. Learn more. CVS Cares.
The new free CBS radio app streams your favorite CBS radio stations, as well as all your favorite AOL and Yahoo music stations directly to your iPhone, iPod Touch, and BlackBerry Bold. With 30 genres of professionally programmed stations at your fingertips, you can hear whatever you want, whenever you want. Stations like K-Rock, 1010 Wins, WFAN, AMP, and over 600 others. Now you can easily take your favorite stations with you on the go. The CBS radio app is everything you wanted from streaming radio and a whole lot more. Go to cbsradio.com/mobile to download your app today.
This is AJ, and you're checking out Talkin Hoops, where you can hear the true legends of basketball. If you missed any of the action from today's show, you can find the full episode on talkinhoops.com or youtube.com/talkinhoops. And don't forget to follow @TalkinHoops on Twitter and give us a like on Facebook for all the latest around the league.
Sassy!
This week's episode, Bobcat in the Cave.
Gosh, Johnny, playing in the cave sure is neat. Oh boy, a kitty cat. Sassy, the kitty cat's yelling. What, Sassy? It's not a kitty, it's a bobcat? Speaking of cats, you'd like to stress the importance of adopting cats from animal shelters? Over 5 million cats go into animal shelters every year? And with millions of healthy cats to choose from, it's a shame more people don't adopt from shelters? This bobcat, Debbie. Help, Sassy! Why bother? We'll just get into more trouble tomorrow? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, nuts.
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
My dream is to become a mechanical engineer.
My dream is to be a ballerina.
My dream is to be a veterinarian.
I want to be a chef, truck driver, a teacher,
A shoe designer.
Professional skateboarder.
But right now,
I'm just a kid.
just a kid.
I'm just a kid.
I'm just a kid ready to be adopted.
Ready to be adopted.
I'm just a kid ready to be adopted. For the facts about adopting a child from foster care, contact the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
Hey guys, this is AJ. Want to talk more hoops? Bring the show in overtime.
Check out talkinhoops.com. Catch you on the rebound.
Welcome back to Talkin Hoops.
About 15 players in the team. 14 get along.
Now here's a guy who likes to dunk on his 8.5-foot rim. Take it away, AJ.
And we are back, Talkin Hoops, talkinhoops.com. Mark Strickland, Kyle, with us as always, your host for the show. And getting back into this, guys, preseason standouts. Who's surprised you so far? Kyle, go first.
Can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
Me neither.
That's my bad. That's my fault.
Kyle muted his mic. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, my bad. DeAndre Jordan for me is the one guy. I know it's very early on in the season, the preseason, and you got to take it with a grain of salt. But DeAndre Jordan is the guy. The Clippers have a great team, obviously. Jared Dudley, JJ Redick, they come over to the team. Probably what I project to probably be the 1 or 2 seed in the West next season, but. A lot depends on DeAndre Jordan. He is making $10 million this season and $11 million next season, okay? And all his averages have ever been is 7 points per game, 8 points per game, 7 rebounds, 8 rebounds. You can't make $11 million with 7 and 7 numbers. So this is his year to step up, okay? He needs to take, we talked about Dwight Howard. This is DeAndre Jordan's time to evolve. And against Portland, he had 16 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks, 2 steals, 21 minutes. He even went 4 or 5 from the free throw line. Yeah. So, to me, this guy, at the end of games for Clippers, they had to take this guy out because he was a liability. You can't make $10 million and get pulled in clutch situations.
Right.
So now it's time for DeAndre Jordan. Look, the Clippers can go far, but DeAndre Jordan needs to help them. So he's impressed me with that game. I think they really need him. Steph Curry's another guy. AJ, you said you watched the game. I watched most of it. I didn't watch the whole game, but I saw the stat line after it.
Yeah, 23 points, 6 assists. I mean, he had a game. He was Steph Curry. Steph Curry had a great season last year, especially the game against the Knicks where he dropped, 50?
100 points?
Yeah, it's a lot. But, no, Steph Curry, yeah. They did lose. That's right. I guess it was an empty stat line, but I don't know. There was something about it that it was just pretty impressive. But no, I think Steph Curry looked good. But believe it or not, on the Kings, Isaiah Thomas looked really good in that game. He had 15 points and 6 assists in 29 minutes. He was 6 for 11 from the field. We didn't see too much from him last season. The Kings, obviously, not really a team that anybody talks about, especially
but he's really good.
Their situation. But I was surprised, he really came out and had a game. And if he could play like that, I think it'll give the Kings, obviously, a much better chance to win some more games this season.
Yeah.
He's really good. Isaiah Thomas, I've been high on him last year. And, obviously I don't watch a ton of Kings games. I'm in Brooklyn, and I don't have League Pass. And even if I did, I still probably wouldn't watch a Kings game. Yeah. But from fantasy-wise, when you get into those 12 and 14 team leagues where everybody is scooped up, right. You start looking at guys and you see these diamonds in the rough. And I think Isaiah Thomas is a diamond in the rough. He's got 2 years in the league out of Washington. Last season he averaged 13.9 points per game and 4 assists. That's pretty good for a guy that nobody talks about. 14 points per game. The guy averaged 14 points in 26 minutes.
Right.
4 assists and 2 rebounds.
Right.
Good play. He's a good point guard. I think he can work on his shot a little bit. I think he can go
6 for 11 from the field. He was 2 for 4 from downtown. He had 6 assists. He had 3 rebounds. This is a point guard here. And granted, it is Sacramento. I was impressed. And actually, Patrick Patterson on the Kings also impressed me last night. He had 9 points off the bench. The Kings are high on him also. He was overlooked when he was with the Rockets. They didn't want to get rid of him in Houston, but they had to clear space for Dwight. But Patrick Patterson, he's also a guy to watch out for this season, especially in a situation like Sacramento. Definitely. So, how about you, Mark? Who's impressed you?
Nobody.
No one's impressed you.
Man. I don't get high on preseason because, it's like y'all said earlier, it's the preseason. Nobody's really playing hard. I watched the Heat game last night. LeBron was on cruise control. So I'm really not going to get into that and who's playing well and who's going to make a difference until a month into the season. I got to see who's ready to play and who's going to really step up and continue to be consistent throughout the season. So nobody. Because Steph Curry, he's supposed to do that. He's supposed to do that.
Right.
Isaiah Thomas, he's supposed to do that because I think he's, fighting for a contract, right? And is his 3rd year or something?
Isaiah Thomas?
He's going into his 3rd year.
He will be. He will be. But, hey, look,
so
contract, no contract, it looked good. It was a good stat line for him. Hopefully that carries over. Honestly, it didn't show up too much on the stat chart, but DeMarcus Cousins really looked to pass the ball a lot in that game also. He really looked to pass the ball a lot. And I know that Mike Malone said that was going to be one of the focal points of this team was DeMarcus Cousins setting up the offense, not just being the guy, but, being a guy to pass the ball. So
I'll get into that head.
I really want to see DeMarcus Cousins play alongside
somebody.
Like a Tyson Chandler or
Yeah.
something. Get DeMarcus Cousins out of playing the 5 and put
He
him
needs somebody like that. Yeah, he needs somebody like that, man. Because he can, he'd be great with it. If they could switch him with Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
You like that? You like that?
I mean, because Marcus Cousins, he has tremendous talent. He could easily be one of the best bigs in the game. Everybody says it, but it's just he hasn't had anybody there to coach him who he respects. That's it. If you don't respect the coach, man, you're gonna constantly be a head case. You're gonna constantly be a thorn in the locker room. You're gonna not work as hard as you're supposed to work. But
well, what the Kings are doing is they're bringing in all these ex-players to be a part of the front office and help coach. They brought in Mitch Richmond to be a part of the ownership. Shaq to be a part of the ownership. Shaq is working with Cousins.
Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
Sharif Abdul-Rahim, another guy, yeah.
They're going in the right direction with that.
Yeah.
They're definitely going in the right direction.
They're trying. Look, they're definitely trying. They can only do so much with what they got right now, but they're trying. One thing in the preseason that is important is the injuries. You don't want to get your guys injured. And Tyreek Evans went down. He landed awkwardly. It looked like his ankle went 90 degrees in the opposite direction. It looked really bad. Fortunately, it seems like he's only going to be out 1 to 2 weeks. He's going to be their 6th man supposedly for the Pelicans, and they're not going to start him. They're going to bring him off the bench.
Really?
But that's big, especially for a young team like the Pelicans. If they get Eric Gordon or Tyreek Evans injured, they're shot right off the bat. You need those guys ASAP.
And you know what? We talk about standout. Austin Rivers, he actually looked pretty decent in his first couple of games, which I was surprised. I don't know if it was just because he had one season under his belt and he kind of knew his mistakes, if he's fully healthy and there were injuries we didn't know about last season. But talk about a disastrous rookie season for Austin Rivers. Maybe one of the biggest busts to me last season, actually. A lot of people actually said he may not be ready for the NBA, and last season that kind of proved that. But guy had he had 21 points in his first game against the Rockets, I think. He was playing pretty well. So I was impressed by Austin Rivers. It is preseason. You're going to see a lot of guys that aren't vets get on the court. But for instance, the Kings. We saw Isaiah Thomas play. They still have Grievous Vasquez. They still have Jimmer Fredette. I mean, these are guys that didn't even get into the game yet.
Drafted?
Yeah, I mean, these are guys that didn't even get into the games yet. So, and who's going to be the starting point guard? Grievous Vasquez or Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of question marks, I think. There's a lot of things still up in the air, and it is, like we said, preseason. But it just brings you closer to the season. Season is coming. Guys are getting ready. We're going to see Melo go into cruise control tomorrow night against the Celtics, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Kenyon Martin. He's going to go be in cruise control, too.
He don't know how to play in cruise control. That man is just 1 speed, 1 gear, go.
That's actually true. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets injured in preseason. That would not surprise me in the slightest bit.
And the other thing about preseason is that, Mark, you can talk about this, I'm sure, is guys are only getting a lot of guys on the roster that are competing for the final 1 or 2 spots on the roster. They only have partially guaranteed deals. They're not guaranteed. So there's still competition going on right now for the last roster spot.
Right.
Yeah, and practice is real intense, especially when you're that 1 or 2 spots at the end of a team or the end of a bench or something, man. It's just real competitive. Injuries plays a part in that. Sometimes teams go a different direction and keep a guy who they intended on keeping. There's a lot plays in the factor of that, but you have to battle in practice, and then whenever you get, 15, 20 minutes to play, man, you got to have some numbers behind you just to have people okay, what did he do in 15 minutes? Oh, yeah, 8 rebounds in 15 minutes? Okay, then that gives them thinking, okay, if we played him 20-some minutes, maybe he could get 10, 11 rebounds for us. Something like that. You have to do something to keep your name on the people that's making the decisions. You got to. But it's tough. It's intense. You have to play hard all the time. It's tough to get a lot of minutes, especially once that first cut happens. That's when you really, minutes start to get tight, and they start to try to get some camaraderie with the starting five. So
now, what was it like? What was it like for you and other guys on the roster when it's getting down to who's going to make the team and who's not?
Stressful, man. Stressful. I remember, man, my first year here, I came here on Labor Day weekend. By the time we went to camp, I had 2 guaranteed contracts in front of me and 3 partial guaranteed contracts. And I beat them all out. South Beach.
Yeah.
They went to South Beach doing training camp. Mark Strickland didn't. Kyle.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
You know what? I got a fully guaranteed deal also out here in Brooklyn playing in the playgrounds, all right? So I took that.
White Owl, baby.
Contract out here.
White Owl turned purple.
You need to make a drink. You gotta make that a drink, man.
White Owl turned purple, hence why Kyle is still in Brooklyn and you were in the NBA. That's really what happened.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about AJ's deal.
Here we
AJ
go.
Got a deal.
Don't bring me into this.
We're
wrapping up the show here. Don't bring me into this.
He got a deal to play with Fisher Price squad.
Hey, you know what?
He got a deal to play with the Fisher Price.
Sometimes at the Y, it is Fisher Price, all right? I think one of the rims is actually lower than the other one. So, it's kind of like an NBA Jam session because there's no way I can touch the rim, and sometimes I can touch the rim. So that's crazy. That's crazy. I'll fess up. There's nothing wrong with Fisher Price, all right? I grew up playing on Fisher Price. There's nothing wrong with Fisher Price.
It's cool.
They make good toys, all right? They make good basketballs. We're good.
They make excellent basketballs for like 8 and 9-year-olds. Really good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. All right, look, well, then I'm on that level. White Owl, Purple Owl, Pink Owl, like the Pink Power Ranger. Talkin Hoopz. TalkinHoopz.com, NBRPA Miami chapter, NBRPAMiami.com. Get at them for Mark Strickland, for Kyle, for AJ, for the upcoming season, for the best of Talkin Hoopz, and it's yet to come, so stick with us. But until next time, we'll catch you on the rebound.
Until Talkin Hoopz comes back into play, stay connected by getting at us on iTunes. Keep up to date with all the latest basketball news and rumors and check out all our shows by logging on to TalkinHoopz.com.
Catch you on the rebound.